Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Nairobi is very cold, and reach out to anyone who, if you have a relative in Mombasa, there is some El Nino. The situation in Mombasa is very worrying. I have seen the scenes of Bamburi. Yeah, they're very worrying. And so if you know someone, you have a relative staying in Mombasa, around Bamburi, reach out. Maybe you never know. Kwale, I think there was also an incident. So El Nino is real. Now, something happened yesterday, and the journalists, Kenyan journalists, have really been talking about it. There was some retreat that was going on in South Sea, and at the tail end of that retreat, the new government spokesperson, Honorable Isaac Mwaura, flanked by a host of principal secretaries and some other cabinet secretaries, called a press briefing, and they were addressing the media about the progress of that meeting, and also just telling the country the state of the nation. And something happened there shockingly. As the customary way is that after a press briefing is done, time is given for journalists to do follow-up questions, and through that you can always ask what you want to ask the government. So immediately Mwaura read that statement. He welcomed question and answer sessions, or rather he welcomed questions from the journalists. Then there were quite so many hands were raised, according to what is coming out. So many hands were raised there. And the first person who was given chance to ask a question was Michelle Ngele. So Michelle Ngele works for K24. And she asked a question on the junior secondary school, the teachers that were employed. So after that, she asked that question, and Mwaura then asked the other people even to respond the way he addressed it, and responded a bit. And after Michelle Ngele, that press briefing ended there. And the next time Mwaura came, said, "Thank you very much for it," and it was wrapped there. No any other question was taken after that of K24 journalists. And it is a very clear point on how they shied away. They actually ran away from the journalists. I want you to follow keenly how that situation unfolded.
That 56,000 teachers have been employed in the education sector. But in our engagements with media stakeholders, especially parents and students, many of them say that most of these 56,000 teachers are interns. So my question is, what was the criteria in the appointment of these 56,000 teachers, and will they deliver on the quality of education that the CBC system entails to deliver? My second question is on the issue of health. Mtaani has in the last 2 weeks been reporting on disappointments or the views of students in universities and colleges, many who say that funds from HELP have not been delivered. So what you are saying today, is this money that has already been delivered? And if not, when will these funds be delivered to students who are already planning street demonstrations because HELP funds have not been delivered?
I will try to answer the question of 56,000, and any minister here can actually respond. But on the issue of higher education laws board, I have the PS, Dr. Beatrice in Yangala, you come on board. But honestly, Michelle Ngele, my friend, this is the single most opportunity that even those interns are getting to work for government. And that's very, very commendable, because we needed to meet the deficit. And if you look at even the public service internship program, it is very beneficial to our youth. So it's highly commendable. And remember, we are trying to meet the shortfall of the CBC by making sure that the junior secondary school takeoff is successful. Madam Peters.
Thank you very much. I'd like to assure the public that HELB loans were released and all the students have received the money for upkeep, either through their accounts or through the M-Pesa. I also want to assure the public that universities have been paid the tuition component of the HELB. And the CS for Treasury is here to also just confirm that he disbursed the money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think with those many remarks, I want to really thank you and to ask you to continue supporting this government. This government is useful, is very important, and is very committed, and is a listening and caring government for the sake of us all. Thank you very much.
So you will understand, and I want to tell you something. The question on this question of the 56,000 teachers is something I have had. Silvano Sosoro speaking in Parliament, and in the Senate side, I think Sifuna was telling him that that is not the situation. Even William Ruto attributed to it. There is a big lie that has been told, and we need to set the record straight. I think even me, I have been receiving really concerns from some teachers who were employed under this, absorbed under this program. So has government employed 56,000 teachers one-off? No. What's happening? Government only employed 10,000 teachers. 46,000 are actually employed on a non-renewable 12 months internship. And the 12 months internship, apart from just the fact that it is internship and it is non-renewable, but you cannot renew it, they're saying those in primary school are earning 13,000. Those ones in the secondary school are earning 17,000. Of course, we need to say it's a good idea that they hatched the plan to employ them. Now, these teachers are also saying that this money has also been subjected to statutory deductions, the NHIF, the NSSF, and all those deductions. Of course, that is there. So that means their takeaway is very small apart from it. However, what was a lie is that we have employed 56,000. No. Of course, I understand, true, that the employment was to bridge the gap because of the 100% transition to junior secondary school. But that transition is still going on. These teachers have been demanding and have been asking the government to confirm them. Now, Isaac Mwaura and the team knows very well that there have been a backlash over that pledge. And the teachers, if you look at the social media corridors, these interns that were taken, were absorbed, have been shouting and asking the government to confirm them. So that is it. Another one is on the secondary school capitation. Is it true that students have received the money? Now, what I have independently verified from some few students is that, yes, there are those, money comes twice. There is that which you receive in your account. For example, if you're getting 32,000, you'll get 16,000 in your account, in your student's account, then there is money that will go to school account. So, not all that has been disbursed. And just, I should not say it when someone can confirm it. These are student leaders asking government to remit that fund.
As we speak about the challenges that students are facing, for example, in the TVET institutions, Mr. President, we would like to urge you to give the comrades the capitation. You said to us that we will be receiving our capitations for those in the TVET institutions, the capitation that is supposed to cater for the education of the students. We plead to you that with your government, that you may release the capitation that is not yet released to the students, so that they can continue with their studies, so that they can go to the next level.
So, it tells you, it's just a summary of why some people are running away. But then, While that is going on, you see, while there is a bit of caginess on addressing the media, that meeting has come up with, there is an emerging story from that meeting that William Ruto is planning to reshuffle the cabinet in December. And the reasons of reshuffling the cabinet, he linked in that meeting. He dropped a hint in that meeting that there are some people that will have to leave government, that will have to leave his cabinet for some reasons. Number one is conduct of ministers. Number two is corruption. Number three is the conflict with the MPs, because there's some MPs, the legislature wing has vowed that they may likely not support, they're unresponsive to maybe some bills that are touching specific ministries of some ministers. They are vowed behind the scene that they will not support anything that is brought by Minister X or Y. And because of this, amongst other reasons, there is a report that William Ruto is thinking of reshuffling the cabinet. So that shows you the way there was some tension. Even as that was going on, there was some tension. Now, let me say this. Even as that is going on, I think Kenya Kwanza must put the house in order. Because the level of data, the level of compromised data that the president is unleashing in the public is worrying. And many experts are asking, is it deliberate, or William Ruto is being fed with the wrong information? For example, I wanted to take this, listen to these two clips.
Hii Kenya inasumbuliwa na ile madeni ilichukuliwa hapo nyuma. Ile kazi mimi nafanya saa hizi ni kusafisha na kuhakikisha kwamba Kenya itasonga mbele. Tunaelewana jameni? Watu wa Kirinyaga tunaelewana? Sawa. Tutashirikiana. Tufanye hii kazi. Hii barabara tujenge. Hii zahanati, hii county aggregation tujenge. Affordable housing tufanye. Ndio vijana hawa wapate ajira. Ndio tupeleke Kenya mbele. Bei ya mafuta sasa tumeanza kuishughulikia. Hapo ndio mnataka kusikia? Sikizeni. Sawa sawa. Bei ya mafuta imepanda kila mahali. Lakini kama Kenya tulifanya mpango, kwa sababu wakati niliingia ofisini siku ya kwanza, petrol station zetu nyingi hazikukuwa na mafuta. Na ndio sababu hiyo leo Kenya tuko na mafuta, kila petrol station haikosi mafuta. Hata ingawaje bei duniani kote imepanda, tunafuata vile inapanda na tumetafuta namna ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunaweza kuhakikisha kwamba bei isipite mahali ambapo Wakenya wengi wataumia. Ile kitu siwezi kuwadanganya ni kwamba bei ya mafuta inashughulikiwa na wale wanatuuzia mafuta. Tunaelewana? Sisi kama Kenya hatuna mafuta, tunanunua kwa watu wengine. Wale wenye kutuuzia ndio wanatuuzia na bei ile wanajua. Na tumekubaliana na wao ya kwamba hiyo bei tutaipiga msasa kweli kweli. Tukiwa hapa, mimi nataka niwahakikishie, Kenya tunanunua kwa bei ya chini kuliko majirani zetu. Ile mkataba niliweka na wale watu wa Saudia na wale watu wa UAE, saa hizi majirani zetu Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda wanaenda kutafuta vile nilifanya. Kwa sababu vile nilifanya ndio imetusaidia, hatuna matatizo katika masoko yetu.
These two, one, Ruto is talking about how someone from Hustler Fund, that one is from the State of the Nation, how someone from Hustler Fund was able to scoop that much. And two, he's also talking about the global prices have gone down, are up. What we know now is that the global oil prices have gone up, have gone down significantly. And that's why, that's the bone of contention between the government and the people of Kenya, that the global prices are going down, but our prices are not stabilizing and are not going down. That has been the big question that is yet to be answered. And so, do you know that to date, some of the reasons why even the government spokesman could be running away from journalists, the media houses have been asking the State House handlers to provide the names and the identities and numbers of these fellows that got this huge money from Hustler Fund, so that those stories can be amplified. To date, their identity is yet to be revealed, and those who are promising to deliver the numbers and deliver the identity are really using an excuse that, and it's a very legitimate excuse, that their security is going to be compromised. And so I wonder, I just ask, they're going to be compromised, security is going to be compromised when the media covers the story, but what is the difference? Because if the president called the Kenga and the Kisi guy, and they were all on record, so Kenyans had, I want to believe that their neighbors know. There is even another gentleman who was called from Kuria who confessed that immediately was called, he started receiving calls from his relatives asking him why he didn't tell president this and that. So it's something that people have been talking about, that those names are yet to be revealed. And no one is willing to give the contacts. A very clear sign that we could be staring at another well-choreographed propaganda. William Ruto needs to do one thing. Amongst the people he needs to fire is Dennis Itumbi. And so to say this, he's my friend. Why am I saying so? I'm saying so because in this executive office of the president, you have so many directors. You have director of communication, you have Hussein, you have Talam, director of press, you have David D, who is not even amongst the directors. His work is do this and that. I think his work is to say this and that. As things are working now, I do believe that Dennis Itumbi was more effective on running the campaign propaganda. But when it comes to running government, you just need to stick with the communication, the professional communication guys. Because I'm not saying Dennis is not professional, but I think he's been more oriented into the propaganda. And I want to believe that a former journalist, Hussein Mohammed, would not have approved a plan to make those calls and use them as, as the image of the country, as what the country feels. Everyone else will know that, and of course, even if you wanted to, it could not be that president will just call everyone who is successful on everything. He was at one point also called people who are miserable. And so, there is this, Kenya government does not have a limit into what exactly they are saying in terms of the public communication. Look at this. Government spokesman, while defending tree planting, said that we planted 150 million trees. That's unrealistic, to say the truth. That's unrealistic because first in this Nairobi, schools are closed. Schools are closed. So, and civilians, even our population in Nairobi is not even 10 million, and not all of us went. If you look at the other counties, this tree planting was done at the chiefs and the disease camps. Then the other, maybe disciplined forces. Do they even get to the tune of 10 million? No. Even if everyone is supposed to plant two trees per country in this country, we are just 50 million. Even if each one of us was to plant and we are around 50 million, we'll do 150. Did you do 150? No. But we are creating patches of impression. So I don't know who we want to impress by this. For example, tree planting. It's true. Maura, we did not plan on 50 million. No. Hapo mmetudanganya. I don't believe so. Same on G2G, that Uganda is trying to copy what we are doing. They say Uganda is copying what we are doing. Is there, or our neighbors, is Uganda and Tanzania doing some G2G? No. They're just trying to pursue the northern corridor, and for them they want to buy oil the other places. I don't think there is any discussion of Tanzania doing G2G like Kenya is doing. And so, I want to interpret these shortfalls the shortfalls of KK in the false data. And I want to link it with the looming cabinet reshuffle. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. We don't take it for granted. We realize that we have viewership across the globe, and for those who have also sent me tea, asanteni sana, and may God bless you. Now, let me say this. There is a probability that William Ruto's advisors or the cabinet are actually pampering him with some false data. That's a high possibility. And the reason why that what can also bring that situation is undue pressure. Look at what KRA guys were saying the other day. They were last Sunday on Standard. KRA guys were saying we are under undue pressure. And some people, because they want to impress the president, we can just be creating, we can just be cooking that at that ministerial level and this information so that we feed the president. So that we, you realize a situation where the principal, a high school, a teacher is giving principals, is giving kids, students, high marks so that they can come and impress the principal that our students are, my subject is performing well. There seems to be that undue pressure. And I will look at this, why that internal pressure is also crumbling Kenya Kwanza. We'll look at that tomorrow. They are pampering the president with false data. Number two, Ruto is under undue pressure to protect the image of government. You may remember the other day, yesterday, I think he was saying that there are just people looking for scandals in Kenya Kwanza, and they're not going to find them. Yeah, and the image of government about corruption and some of the things that are making government unpopular is just corruption. So while you want to, you want to fight corruption, but you don't want to expose them. You don't want the public to know, you don't want us to know, but you want to fight corruption. Corruption is one thing that must be on top of the table. If you allow it to be below the table, then you will not fight it, because it will always find its way fighting back. The other thing about these shortfalls is, and why actually even the communication team, the spokesperson, had to dodge media, is dodging the contentious oil scandal. This oil scandal is one I am not feeling, apart from Ruto and Kimani Ngunjiri and then Kimani Ichung'wah, no any other state officer is, apart from, and then Churchill, he has actually given a comment about it, apart from the ones I've mentioned and won't comment. You would remember as what would be the customary situation is, you will see everyone calling press briefing, even every politician, but on this one, people are not going into it. They're not so much in it. You'll even see Moses Kuria coming out defending it outrightly. So people are not in it, and it's a situation of some people ate money and didn't eat with them, so why should we even defend it? Number three, the cabinet issue could be a situation of just sacrificing some state officers. I want to be on record saying this. The problem this country is facing is not even about individual cabinet secretaries. No. The problem we have is policies that are a bit policies that are not friendly to the person at the lower part of the pyramid. That's it. Our policies, and we've just bagged these policies. We've just bumped policies once without being sensitive of the ripple effect. It is the same time we are reviewing NHIF, the same time we are reviewing high school, the university. It is the same time that we are increasing the cost of getting ID. It is the same time that we are hiking the park fees. As in, it's just been clumped together without being sensitive of the ripple effect. Let's meet on Sunday for another one. Thank you.